There's someone in your life right now who's done it. Maybe it was a childhood friend who vanished without explanation. A family member who stopped answering calls. Or that person who seemed close one day and completely gone the next. No fight. No closure. Just silence. And here's what most people don't realize: this pattern isn't random. Scientists have actually identified specific psychological traits that predict who will cut people off, and the reasons are far darker than you'd think. Because while we often blame the person who got abandoned, the truth is, the cutters themselves are fighting battles most of us never see. Let's start with something that might surprise you. Research from the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that approximately 67% of adults report having intentionally cut someone out of their life at least once. 2/3. That means this behavior is far more common than we admit. But why? The first thing you need to understand is that chronic cutters, people who repeatedly eliminate others from their lives, aren't doing it because they're cold or uncaring. In fact, it's often the opposite. Psychologists have discovered that many serial cutters score extremely high on something called rejection sensitivity. Their brains are literally wired to perceive threats in relationships where none exist. Think about that for a second. While you might interpret a delayed text as someone being busy, their brain is screaming, "You're being abandoned." And when you live in constant fear of rejection, cutting people off first becomes a survival mechanism. It's not cruel. It's preemptive self-defense. But there's a twist you wouldn't expect. The people most likely to cut others off aren't the ones with obvious emotional problems. According to UCLA behavioral researchers, they're often high-functioning individuals with successful careers and active social lives. They appear completely normal. But underneath, they're operating from what psychologists call an avoidant attachment style, a pattern typically formed before age 5. Here's what happens: when emotional intimacy reaches a certain threshold, their nervous system triggers a fight-or-flight response. Not metaphorically. Literally. Their cortisol spikes. Their heart rate increases. And their brain does the only thing it knows to reduce that threat: eliminate the source. The cruel irony. The closer you get, the more danger you represent. That's why these relationships often end right when things seem perfect. You didn't do anything wrong. You did something terrifying, you mattered. And now we need to talk about the one thing nobody mentions: what this behavior is actually protecting them from. The answer is grief. Every person they cut off represents a potential future loss they'll never have to experience. If you can't lose someone you've already discarded, you stay in control. You stay safe. And while the rest of us process hurt through connection, they process it through isolation. Studies show that serial cutters often experienced early trauma involving unpredictable caregivers, parents who were sometimes loving, sometimes absent, never reliable. Their brain learned that people hurt you when you need them most. So if someone has cut you off, understand this: it probably had nothing to do with your worth and everything to do with their wounds. The ones they're still too afraid to heal.